Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a hilarious lunchtime situation at a supermarket. One entitled shopper demands to cut the line for her precious M&Ms, only to have them bought by another customer out of sheer spite. Standing up to a rude supermarket customer. It's lunchtime and I'm purchasing a sandwich and drink from a local supermarket. While I'm waiting in line, this woman, we'll call her Loud B or LB, is shrieking down her phone to who I can only presume is her now totally deaf boyfriend. She's visibly pissing off most people in the general vicinity with her swearing and general attitude. As it's coming up to my turn to check out, she's decided she's fed up with waiting and puts her big bag of M&Ms in front of my lunch on the conveyor and says, I need to go first. Without so much as a moment to think and without making eye contact, I pick them up and move them behind my items, saying nothing. Red alert, divert all powers to B drive. LB. What the F are you doing? Me. I was here first. Wait your turn. LB. F you, I'm on my lunch break and I have a very important job. Blah, 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 blah. I can't remember the whole rant. Me. It's lunchtime. Everyone's on lunch. You have to wait. LB. F you, I asked nicely. LOL, what? At this point, LB throws her M&Ms in front of my lunch, still ranting, and now it's my turn to check out. Enter awesome checkout girl, who we'll call ACG. So after seeing the bag of M&Ms land on the conveyor, I decide F it, and I accept LB's gracious offering and buy the M&Ms for myself, leaving her M&M-less. Of course, the battle was not yet over. More screaming was coming my way. LB, what are you doing? Those are mine. Me, nope. I'm paying for them now. If you want M&Ms, you'll have to go get some and wait in line. LB, you're a thief. You stole my M&Ms. Me, no, I just bought the M&Ms you rudely threw onto my pile of stuff. LB, I'm not getting any more. Give me my M&Ms back. You're a thief. ACG, ma'am, I suggest you go and get a new pack and wait in line. There are people waiting. The gentleman hasn't stolen anything. He paid money for the M&Ms. LB, call the effing manager. Get this piece of crap kicked out for stealing. Me. Mind if I step out anyway? I have a very important job and I'm on lunch. LB. Where the F are you go? ACG. Sure, here's your receipt. Me. Thanks. To wrap up, the M&Ms were delicious. I shared them with my coworkers. Don't know if LB went back to get some, but I highly recommend them. I really want to know what happened after you left. Chances are that LB said, I'm never shopping here again, and stormed out to silent shrugs and eye rolls. But maybe it got interesting. And our second story. The owner wants my hat. So I worked in the menswear department of a pretty rundown bridal store. It was generally quiet, business was slow, and thus only myself and my manager, we'll call her M, were working this particular day. Around an hour before closing time, me and Em were ironing shirts and putting them out, general stuff, when an older lady, OL, walks in with a large box. Me, spotting the large box, good afternoon, are you here to make a return? OL, smirking, no, I'm not. Me, okay, well, is there any way I can help you today? OL, still smirking, no, but I think I can help you. Okay. At this point, I'm confused. I look at Em, who kind of shrugs her shoulders and walks over to us, neither of us knowing where this is going. Em, hello, what brings you here today? The lady puts the box on the floor and stands triumphantly with her arms crossed. OL, I have something here I think you'll be very interested in. Before either of us can say anything, she whips the lid off the box and then resumes her previous position, still with that grin plastered on her face. Inside the box is an electric blue fedora hat. M stifles a laugh and takes a step back, leaving me to deal with this woman. Me. Ma'am, we don't sell those kind of hats here. OL. Yes, well, I bought this hat for my son's prom 15 years ago, and when I did, the owner of this shop said he loved it, and if I ever wanted to sell it, he would pay me a hefty sum. At this point, I'm trying not to laugh. She's still standing there, grinning like she's pulled the greatest trump card the world's ever seen, and the hat was in probably the worst condition it could possibly be and packed inside a comically oversized box. Our store only opened 3 years ago. There was no way it was our wealthy boss she spoke to. And I don't think anyone would pay a hefty sum for this, let alone him. Me. I'm sorry, ma'am, but you must have us confused with another store. And besides, we're a shop. We sell and rent items we don't buy. Oh well, getting agitated. No. It was this shop. The owner said he would pay me for it, and it would be an honor to sell it in his shop. Me, trying hard to keep my composure. I'm sorry to tell you this, ma'am, but you're mistaken. We don't sell these kind of hats. Oh well, but you will sell this hat. The owner wants it. You'll be in trouble with the owner. At this point, M walks back over to us to intervene. M. Madam, you have the wrong person. We do not buy independent items unless an order has been specifically placed for them. Oh well. Shrill. The owner wants me to sell this hat. People want this hat. Why won't you buy it? Me. Ma'am, please, if you look behind you, you'll see the only hats we sell are top hats, and even those aren't popular. We have little demand for hats, let alone one as unique as yours. Oh well, seems to get the picture, huffs and exaggeratedly packs away the hat, picking up the box and glaring at me. You'll regret this. Me. I'm sure I will. The woman stares for a second before heading towards the door, muttering to herself. Just before she reaches it, she turns around and half shouts up to us, oh well, you will regret this! Emphasizing will, me, nodding, okay, have a nice day. Before she could respond, however, my manager cuts in, M, there's a charity shop down the road if you'd like to try there. She left. Even if the owner had love for the hat 15 years ago, what makes her think a hat 15 years out of fashion with 15 years of wear would be as desirable now? Do you remember what we wore in the late 90s and early 2000s? Not sure when this incident happened, so not sure when 15 years ago was. Add a lot of wear, dampness, and moth holes to that? Yeah, no. And our next story. The neighbor is using our outlet. So we had a new family move into the other side of our duplex last year. Our neighbors seem to have money and keep popping out children. They just welcomed their third daughter this year. Our previous neighbor was an elderly woman and her partner who gardened a lot, so you can imagine this is a huge change for us. I'm in my 20s and living at home because of financial reasons, but we are a more mature family, clearly. Our family's Asian, and this is relevant because my mom has this attitude of letting things go. She figures that no one would be on our side in any matters because she's been living here as an immigrant for much longer than I've been alive. Her experiences are different from mine as a minimal English speaker, and in her words, white people's retaliation might be bad. So she's not educated or knowledgeable about rights. And in turn, I've had to self-learn many things in my life because she was not equipped to teach me while trying to make a living in a foreign country. I'd like to think we've put up with a lot, the usual screaming and stomping from toddlers, 2 new large dogs in a previously pet-free house, sudden changes and increases in our strata insurance, requests to modify the property, their child almost breaking our front door handle by slamming it for fun, their children and dogs ruining my mom's hours of work on our front lawn and flower bed, a broken front gate due to children slamming it repeatedly, and so on. My mom just takes it all because she literally doesn't have the language ability to tell them off, and she tells me not to say anything because she's worried they'd retaliate against us. Wow, listing all this out makes it feel worse when I think about it. This new development might be our last straw. They recently got a new unicorn bouncy castle and decided to put it on our side of the lawn and plug it in using our power outlet. They have their own outlet on their side. Our utilities are paid separately. Last night they were playing on it until 9 p.m. and my mom said the whole neighborhood's children came over for it. She told me she almost went crazy from the nonstop noise, but hoped it would just be one night. I'm working from home today because I have the flu, and I realized they started inflating this machine at noon. Halfway through the afternoon, I noticed that the kids weren't even playing on it. They left the machine on using our power outlet. I went over and asked the husband to shut it off, but I realized they've been turning this machine on from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. while my whole family's not at home because of work. If the parents aren't monitoring its usage, are we paying the electricity bill for them to use it an average of 7 hours a day? I've been coming home to children playing on it for the past 2 weeks. In one of the dialogues, I threatened to call the police, and the neighbors apologized and agreed that it was impudent on their part. just in case, I bought an outdoor cover with a lock. And our last story. No, Karen, I won't let you use our private pool. My wife and I rent a cozy one-story house with a private swimming pool. It's part of a small, gated community of 6 homes. 2 of these houses, including ours, have private pools, which understandably makes them more expensive. That pool was a big selling point for us. It's our little oasis. Then there's Karen. Karen is, well, Karen. The neighbor everyone whispers about, but no one wants to deal with. She's infamous in the community for calling the cops on people for trivial things, filing endless HOA complaints, and generally acting like she's the queen of the neighborhood. We hadn't had any direct issues with her until last week. It started with an unexpected knock at our door. I opened it to see Karen standing there, grinning smugly with her 2 kids, all decked out in swimsuits, goggles, and towels. Karen: "Hi, I'm Karen, your neighbor. We thought we'd come over and use your pool." Me, confused as hell: "You what?" Karen, as if it were the most logical thing in the world: "We're coming to use the pool. It's part of the community, right? We have access?" I stared at her, stunned. Was this real life? Me: "No, that's not how it works. The pool's private. We rent this house and the pool is part of our lease. You're renting the house next door and your lease doesn't include access to our pool." Her face instantly soured. Karen: "Yes, it does. It's in my lease. I have access to all community amenities." Now I know that's a lie. My wife and I are good friends with our landlord, and I even helped draft parts of the rental agreement. The pool is explicitly listed as part of our private property. Still, I didn't want to argue right then, so I called my wife over and asked her to get our landlord on the phone. While we waited, Karen just stood there, arms crossed, tapping her foot like she was about to issue a royal decree. When my wife handed me the phone, our landlord confirmed what I already knew. Karen's lease had nothing to do with our property, let alone our pool. I relayed the message politely but firmly. "Karen, I just spoke with the landlord and he confirmed that you do not have access to this pool. This is private property." Karen wasn't having it. Karen: "That's ridiculous. The rent is way too high not to include pool access. You're just being selfish. It's not like you're using it all the time." Me: "That's irrelevant. It's our pool." "I'm sorry, but the answer is no." To show I wasn't a total jerk, I even tried to be accommodating. "Look, how about this? Once a month, you and your kids can come over and use the pool, as long as you give us at least a week's notice. Deal?" Karen's response? She scoffed and raised her voice. Karen: "Once a month? Are you kidding me? That's unacceptable. I should be able to use it whenever I want. This is a community." At this point, I'd had enough. I told her firmly, "Karen, this conversation's over. Please leave." She stormed off, yelling something about talking to the landlord and getting you evicted. Later that day, our landlord came by, visibly annoyed. Apparently, Karen had called him right after leaving my house, ranting about how we were hogging the pool. He shut her down, telling her in no uncertain terms that she had no rights to the pool or any part of our property. He even warned her about making baseless complaints. That warning didn't stop her. Over the next few weeks, Karen went on a full-blown revenge spree. She called the police on us multiple times, making ridiculous complaints like they're being too loud, we weren't, or their dog is off leash. We don't even have a dog. She filed complaints with the HOA, claiming our pool violated community regulations. It didn't. She left passive-aggressive notes on our door saying things like, "Share the pool or leave." After documenting all her antics, photos of the notes, copies of the bogus HOA complaints, and records of her false police calls, we sent everything to her landlord. Turns out, Karen had a history of pulling stunts like this. Her landlord, who was already fed up with her, had enough evidence to terminate her lease. When Karen found out she was being evicted, she showed up at our door one last time, screaming about how we had ruined her life. Before we could respond, the moving truck showed up a few days later. I mean, how difficult is it to just knock on the neighbor's door one day with a gift basket and a smile and ask politely if it would be possible to use the pool once in a while with advance notice? Maybe offer to mow the lawn or something in exchange? Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.